Yeah, I live just up the road from Graham, really, in Powys, in a very beautiful part of the Black Mountains. And I've never written poems before that had a kind of particular interest in place, but living somewhere like that, it seems to kind of insist in some way that you get to grips with it, kind of, if you're a poet, poetically, I suppose, which is kind of an awkward situation to be in. But anyway, I decided I was going to try and write a series of poems which had a certain kind of, we sort of admitted the fact that I was actually living in a particular kind of place on the earth and having my life there. And so these are, I'm going to read, these are completely new poems from a collection which will be appearing sometime soon called Bridge 116. And basically they're just kind of about being alive in a place, and they're not about place. They attempt to kind of treat place as just somewhere, a location where everything appears on the same level, you know, dreams, books, music, whatever you happen to be reading and listening to, or you know, neighbours come into it. So I'm just going to read them one after the other without any kind of comment, particularly, because that's the way kind of life happens, really. So, okay. I, of course, come into it, like, say, being here, like water off a duck's back, untenable, abrupt remainder, taking my punishment, no design equal to pressure of infection, sliver moon over sunset, imagining how it was at the dark at the bare table, tacky with polyurethane varnish, a misguided project, Dad, if ever there was one. Ignore that of right, no longer superior in opposition to ancestors, swelling at the cuticle. I happened to have a poisoned thumb at the time I wrote that. Is it because she had forgotten everything from the start, even dearest, no hat big enough? Now death stalks the village, well-spoken, enjoying cake with strawberries, inheritance furled in a golden vowel. Rather taken by Olympics, heroism, turns of speed and the like, but forgotten everything, smog on the glory tower, convulsions and DIY, how the world is with us in it. Here, and the thumb angry, knocking pots, doorknobs. Suddenly everyone loves Nadja. Even I love Nadja. The mad are pleasant in tales. Their suffering not mere suffering, although it might be real or not mad anyway. This cake a bought cake, thumb throbs inquisitive. Where is their space? But a foal comes conquering, pie-eyed and rejecting offerings. The pie-eyed dying one shifts on a couch, settling her dress, alert, charming, commensurate, concerned as to output. They are burning boughs in the meadow by the big house, smoke in the time of courgette flowers. Not now, but probably in a future, or now, or probably in a future now, Damascus has fallen. Naturally, I applaud desire. Aleppo, a rose tarnished, honey for infection. I have come as if needed, worrying about everyone, without direct access, peculiarly ineffectual for a god, wearing only literature, calling fiat through Homs Dadi, the war zones. What's needed is a myth for mundanity, that upland bog of all happy places. Under the Williamsburg Bridge, cool à la Seine, the notes go out very far out and return in a variety of indigenous disguises, swell or trough, bucking container ships and triremes, vested beyond interest to shove aside overweening paradigm. Scalar worm builds rooms in a temple for a new kind of dinner party, but the ghost turns away, vitiated by effort and anxiety. Colours in a different way too, I agree it's tough, yes, if you're wanting to be popular. In East Tennessee, how bad can the weather get? By the middle of a solo, isobars spilling rain, under the Williamsburg Bridge, cool à la Seine, What's needed is a choice. If not this vehicle, some other vehicle. Not this need, some other kind of need. Oh, thank Christ, it's only a wheel bearing. Put off the day of work. A different day is required, though, for the spec to change, as recommended by responsible citizens. Very low fuel consumption, emissions in acceptable brackets. I open my mouth, but nothing comes out. Goodbye, children, farewell and good riddance for me too. I'm glad where the ground swells and may contain interest, natural or archaeological, down in the layers deep where the seeds go, or in a garden dreaming of Ilium. This is your captain speaking. Growth is so slow at this age, enigma is boring, we prefer gout. 3 little words rather than East Broadway rundown. Adopt your car crash, says C. It's part of what makes you extraordinary, if you are, or ordinary. This thumb. You don't have to see the work as commodity if you don't want to. Turbulence sweeping in like a doctor's note. Damascus has fallen, is not falling. Bloody hell, what are the chances of that happening, eh? Brute, whimsical invasion of the outdoors, releasing us from the obligation for action. Why not rot? Moss gathering between the roof tiles. I put my hand out, missing the Perseid showers this time. Fig ripe, alert, immaculate, adjusting her calm frock, never giving way in society, her head so heavy on its stalk, a life, a testimony, straddling a fault line. The lives and testimonies of historically specific individuals, specificity here being an operative concept, there coal, here limestone and granite, all falling down, including Damascus possibly. One died and one fell in the canal. This next one is about a heron who sits in a field. And herons generally kind of fish in rivers and things like that. And this one sits in the field with his back to the river, staring at the sheep, you know. Very lazy heron, I don't know how to describe it. I'm very fond of this heron. Counterintuitive heron sits in a field with sheep facing the wrong way. Flip. Well, it's always a shock. Whip, whip, whip goes the line. Hey T, why do we always meet on the bridge? You on your way somewhere, me on my way somewhere. I don't know how to relate to my totem animal. Is it a question of persuasion? Will it bring us luck? In a field with sheep facing wrong, plop, like that haiku. Kingfisher slashing the eyeball, releasing blue before total momentary blindness. Worldly and heavenly heron turn around, or are your fish leaping in invisible rivers? Invisible fish, I hope so. This is a poem for my wife, Penny, who loves gardening. This is about that. All things replenish one who inhabits them in excess, as the one who inhabits them excessively, as one who inhabits excess written into the plan with columbines, her sweet breath opening on stems, already lost and passing by metamorphic fire into what she desired only to cultivate as a garden, where I sit thinking of her grace in the morning, touching at blooms, tying back, pruning, absence, a part residual to belonging, somewhere greater than our own fictions shape, if they shape anything, cache of a human right, where beauty is broken but remains animate in a manner of seeing, in the speaking and before the speaking, things in no place, as placed there and becoming place, and flash as the flesh moves through it. I, of course, come into it, like, say, being there in New York, it's raining, in Tennessee, in New York, it's not raining, it's raining here, nothing quite comes right at the bare table. Fathers, I've given up thinking of ourselves as new, we are not new, we are old, thinking at the dark at the bare table, being at ease here in this lying form, dying of this lyric form, seeing how the storms loop around, stuck, and me stuck. It's repetitive. Storms are far things, taking us far stuck. It's repetitive. I no longer hope for the best, not of anything human. Is that sad or real? Even nothing comes right. 7/8 of any solo is old riffs cobbled together in semi-predictable configurations. No longer superior. Generations of mist swoop down on us from generations of sheep skulls, bracken, stone walls. Can anything be clearer? Nothing comes right continually at the bare table, right continually, which is the same thing. There are nymphs, one covered from head to foot in bright orange swathes of effervescing builders' expanding foam. She knocked. Can you help me? Shit, shouldn't we call an ambulance? Anyway, I got stuck in, scraping at her face with toilet paper. This left her with a beard of toilet paper. Amish, she could have lost her sight, her life, something, her life, perhaps, honestly. These Trekkies, she lived to tell the tale, get pissed. Jesus Christ, what a vision, help, but I couldn't though. This is about a bog, a nearby bog on the hill. An unusual place, just kind of cupped up in the hills. Stuffed lug plug, bouchon, a ferny bowl, swelling at the cuticle, rimmed black sepia, tinted mirrors, a tremble, approached or blind tadpole thunk, it's alive, disgust's pillow there, engenderings, a thumb's throb, red tag in the wads, sky vulnerable, aperture, a tamped shrilling, slow expiation, and expansion in the varied quiets. Who could forget that never-ending snowball fight? A raven, bog cotton, our hands already empty of everything blotted, our gifts wobbling to the root of water. You'll probably recognise that snowball. Just a couple more. This is a poem which kind of grew out of reading the memoirs of French writer Blaise Cendrars, his First World War memoirs. He tells the story of how he kind of lying in a field on a sort of day off from the war, really, nothing happening at all, no guns going off or anything, and chatting to his friends, and suddenly out of the sky a severed arm just kind of fell down at the sky and landed right in the field in front of them. Some unexonerated portion, cut off above the elbow, drops from the sky one sunny day and lands thump in a primrose clump, spraying goo everywhere. The hedges drip, the canal darkens, and a bridge 116. That oozy, that lying encumbrance on a terminal spring bank. Roll over, horsey, smoke rising, exiguous from the Chinese garden. They're tidying up for summer, bracing themselves. Preparation is everything. When the seams run out, quarries flexed in mid-rictus, in the suspended blast moment, gouged high up over this town's peculiar momentary fatigue, intention without viable equipment, not even winding gear for the gradient. It's a puff, but one must make the effort for health's sake, readiness for no reason, conviction for no reason. Thank you very much.